So the first thing we're going to play is a G chord with your third finger on the third fret of the sixth string. And you're going to pluck the thumb on the sixth string and the index finger on the second string open. So that's a G in the bass and B up in the treble. And that's a G major chord. You've got the root and the third. You don't need the fifth to make a major chord. That's all you need to imply G major. And then you're going to pick downwards on the third string with your index finger. Next, you're going to go to your index finger on the first fret of the second string, and you're going to pick the open fifth string and do the same downstroke on the open third string. And that's an A minor chord. You've got A in the bass and C in the treble. That's the root and the flat third from the minor chord. And then with your second finger, you go to the second fret of the fifth string, and with your fourth finger, you go to the third fret of the second string. And you could look at this as being a continuation of the G major chord. Now you have the third in the bass, which is B, and you have the fifth in the treble, which is D. You can look at these two as both being G major. Another way you could look at it is you could look at this as being B minor, in which the root of B minor is in the bass and the flat third of B minor is in the treble. So you've got G major, A minor, B minor. Now you're going to jump right up here to the 10th fret of the 5th string and the 12th fret of the 2nd string. You've got a G in the bass now, but it's up the octave from that other G that we played. And you've got B in the treble, which is up the octave from that open B note that we played before. So now you've got this G major chord up here. And then we do this little picking pattern which goes bass and treble down on the third string, treble, bass, treble, third string. Now notice that the 10th fret of the 5th string and the open third string have the same note, but they sound different because this one's a lot warmer and this one's a lot brighter. So that's the intro. The way the song goes is it goes intro, and then in the verse it starts just like the intro, then you've got that little bit. Now, just as a rule, everything we're going to play along the 5th and 2nd strings, I'm going to get you to go 2nd and 4th finger for all of that. That's not 100% necessary, but I think it's the easiest way to play it. So down here, we've got a C major chord with C in the bass and E in the treble. You might want to do it like this, but but that's not going to be the best way, and you might want to do it like this with your first finger in the bass. But the problem with that is that when you go to the next chord, you're going to have your index finger up on the first string, 3rd fret, and your second finger down on the 4th fret of the 5th string. So if you did this, you'd be doing a lot of this sort of, you know, back and forth with your hand, which isn't the most, it's not the smoothest way to play through it. So if you use your second finger on the 5th string through this whole thing, you see how smoothly I can move up through this? It might feel like a bit of a stretch using your 2nd and 4th fingers, but that leaves the 1st finger open. So anyway, this section, the C major chord, C sharp diminished chord with your 2nd finger on the 4th fret, your 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. And that diminished chord is a passing chord, so it's just a chord that leads smoothly into the next chord, which is D major, with your 2nd finger on the 5th fret of the 5th string, D, and your little finger on the F sharp, which is on the 7th fret of the 2nd string. And then D sharp diminished, the same type of passing chord as the other diminished chord that we did, and that leads up into E minor, with the E in the bass on the 7th fret of the 5th string, and the G on the 8th fret of the 2nd string. And you're going to do that little picking pattern on this E minor chord. You see that open 3rd string is the G note down the octave from the one that you're playing on the 2nd string. So you just do that one time, then your 2nd finger comes down a fret, and you've got an E flat major chord. Then you bring them both down a fret, and you've got a D major chord. Down another fret with your 2nd finger, and 1st finger on the G on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. A C sharp diminished, and then C major, C minor, with your little finger on the 4th fret, bring them both down a fret, B minor, or it could be part of the G major chord, whatever you want to think of it as. A major, well, it's actually A7 when you include the open 3rd string. And D7. Now when you play the D7 chord, make sure your index finger doesn't mute the 4th string, because you're picking the open 4th string. And then you're back at the G chord. So let's play through the whole thing. Let's play through the whole thing.